Well, a demo for Monark has dropped. This JRPG releasing in February, right beside Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, and Atelier Sophie 2. And the demo is, okay. I played for about 2 hours, so I wanted to summarize my little play session for you. We'll get into that in a moment, but anyways, if you enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content, and leave a comment below telling me what you thought of Monarch and the demo, or if you're excited for the game, or if you're not, just let me know. Anyways, getting into it now. The game starts you off by putting you into battle against enemies that kill you in 2 hits, and then you die. Then we transition to some blurry cutscenes where we get to see all of our key cast members and the pixels that make up every single cutscene. Please note that the entire game, the demo I played, was on the Nintendo Switch, even though I have a PS4 and I could have checked that. But here we are. Next, the school dean asks us if we ever watched porn, and then decides how we stack up on the chart of the 7 deadly sins, or something. Suddenly, the protagonist wakes up in a hallway, where we see a bunch of kids getting very painful headaches, and we reunite with our sister, who we are definitely supposed to know. As it turns out, the protagonist has amnesia, and we're allowed to pick between 3 wonderful different answers to say so. There are also 2 other people there who aren't given actual introductions. They explain the reason for the headaches and people acting up is due to the mist, which is based on what I've seen, roughly translates to something that tends to be rougher on people with respiratory problems and such. Our sister, Chio, gets a phone call, and she answers with a very awesome ringtone, which whisks our group away to the other world. So we get a chance to sit around and watch our newly found friends get stabbed, and we're introduced to a new character, Vanitas. No, not that one. Vanitas explains in rhymes and words that start with the same letter. Long story short, we pick him up like a dramatized high school bully and make a pact with him to obtain the powers to kill these skeletons. With that, we enter our first battle and we're bombarded with tutorials that I didn't really understand. After that overwhelming victory, we get a super sick animated opening, and then we are returned to the real world. We meet this guy who is definitely not evil at all, and the dean shows up to take us out of the situation. It's here we learn more about the Otherworld, Vanitas, Pax, and other details. We get introduced to Nozomi properly, and we find Chio and Kakeru in the infirmary. The dean decides that we should call our group the True Student Council, because reasons. And I thought we were gonna get to name the group, so I was gonna name it something stupid, but apparently we can't. Nozomi agrees to this, and she also agrees to go with the protagonist back into the mist. On our way there, we hear the obviously not evil guy making his first mid-pandemic company statement, as we truly live in unprecedented times. From there we go into the mist, on the 2nd floor of the building, and collect all sorts of memos among other creepy things. Then we get into our second battle. Nozomi gains the power to fight, and I died, because the fight actually required me to use brain cells and get my mind to properly function. Anyways, we win and destroy the ideal, and some cutscene plays out, which definitely doesn't have to do with that funny, not evil student council president guy. From there, the mist clears out and we return to the classroom. Vanitas explains more tutorial stuff again, Chio chokes Vanitas to death, Nozomi introduces herself to us again because they forgot to change the dialogue, and the next piece of the demo starts. I kind of stopped playing a bit into that next area. For better or for worse, the game isn't for me. I felt fairly uncomfortable, as I'm not good with stuff that has an eerie atmosphere. I don't really like the gameplay all that much, as I can't see how far enemies are going to move, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that just gets slapped onto early text tutorials, instead of being broken down and taught via application. Most games tend to have a point where you actually go into a battle, and they teach you different mechanics and things like that one by one, instead of slapping a big tutorial list on your face and telling you to figure that out. Monarch seems like it's setting up a somewhat compelling narrative. There are a lot of interesting elements to explore. Potentially Vanitas' overall alignment, Nozomi, Kakeru, and Chio's character arcs, which I assume would be included, and just everything going on with this dude. I know that the final game has multiple endings, and multiple playthroughs are needed to fully get the game down, but I probably wouldn't be able to do that considering my disposition with these kinds of games, of eerie atmospheres. Visually, the game definitely does not hit. I adjusted to it as I played through the demo, but the fact that the 3D cutscenes use these prettier anime models, but the game itself uses these kind of weird looking clay models is strange, especially for a JRPG. It could be the style that they were going for, but it doesn't really look all that good, and I'm sure it's more visually jarring on stronger hardware, as I played this entire demo on the Switch. As a side note, the English voiceover is pretty strong, if that would influence your interest at all. I think Monarch kind of has very little going for it for me. Being made by a smaller team with a likely lower budget, I can't be too disappointed with what I experienced in this demo. But it doesn't change the fact that for me, it doesn't feel like this game really works for me visually or thematically. The gameplay is a bit but that could change with the full version. I'm sure as you progress, you unlock more abilities and special skills and stuff. But my problem wasn't as much the special skills as much as it was having a tactical RPG, a PvE tactical RPG, and not being able to see where opponents can move to consistently. Maybe I'm just too spoiled by the way Fire Emblem works, but I don't play that many tactical RPGs, so I couldn't really say. Essentially, at the current moment, with how it looks and my current impressions, I can't justify dropping a whole $60 on this game on release. I can't definitively say much about this game, as this is a demo and I only played 2 hours of it, but those 2 hours I put in definitely didn't leave me wanting more. It kind of just made me want to play something else. That being said, I implore you all to check out the demo, because the demo's free, and you guys should always try things when you have a chance. But for me, this game just doesn't work. This demo just didn't sell me on the game. I think it kind of unsold me on the game, if I'm honest. So, unfortunately, that is where I stand on Monarch. This has been Tiller. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you next week, where I probably do a review of Legends Arceus. Probably. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching.